Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Princess, if you didn't already know, and you are now in the Princess lifestyle. So today we are getting into my flawless face routine. You guys know I'm the queen of skin, the queen of complexion, all of that. So I'm just here to drop some tips for you guys in this get ready with me. This isn't my typical get ready with me because I'm really going to be giving you guys some serious secrets, okay? So right now I am going in with two primers. Both of them are from Farsali. The first one was the Farsali Unicorn Essence, and the second one, which you see me using now, is the Farsali Skin Tune Blur. These are a necessity for my routine. I don't use them all the time, but when it comes to summer, I don't miss a beat with my Skin Tune Blur. So now we're going to get into the complexion. You guys, you already know what it is. I am using my Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundations and concealers. So you guys know I got a tan. You know I've been out here tanning and getting my chocolate life on. But unfortunately, I do not have an exact shade in this foundation anymore. I used to be Tanzania. That was my exact shade. And here I'm using Kenya. That is the darkest shade that I own, but the undertone is off. As you can see, the undertone is less red and more neutral. And during the summer, I am no longer a neutral undertone, even though I am in the winter. But during the summer, when I tan, especially the redness, the red undertones that I have naturally really come out and really blossom and bloom. You can see it in my chest. It's very red, but this foundation has more of a neutral undertone, which is fine because we're going to work it out anyway. So as you can see, I applied it with the brush, then I blended out and diffused with a sponge, and now I'm going on my skin with a what I call an airbrush type of brush. And I do that because I don't like to use just one tool on my skin because I feel like no matter what, you're not going to get the most even finish that you can get. So I first apply it with a flat brush, then I go in with a sponge, and lastly, I go in with a brush to further blend out everything. And I make sure that I go in circular motions and continuous circular motions. I don't put that brush down until I feel like I'm really, really done and blended. So now we can move on to concealer. I'm using two shades. Everything is going to be linked below for you guys to have. And I'm starting with the darker shade of concealer because no matter what you're doing, no matter what colors you're going to use, you always start with the base. See, I'm telling you guys to, relax, calm down. I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, that's not light enough to be a highlight. Let me tell you something. You start dark and then you work your way up as you see me doing. Now I'm applying a lighter shade and I'm keeping that toward the nose and close to the inner corner of the eye because I want those parts of my face to be the lightest. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to let that set a little bit because we do not go straight into our concealer with the blend. We let it set. We let that coverage get to going and then we blend. So as you can see on my chin, I'm blending away. I'm blending away. I'm blending away and I'm creating harsh lines. So what I do is I pick up my foundation sponge, the one that still has foundation on it, and I go around those harsh lines, okay? All those harsh lines are about to disappear. So now I'm blending out my forehead and I'm keeping it in the shape of like a semicircle rainbow type shape. And then I'm going to pick up my foundation sponge once I'm done blending and I'm going to hit those edges. There you go. You see? And those edges just blend away and all of a sudden they just disappear. And it looks like you just have a perfect five head. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm doing my under eye and I always blend out the edges of my under eye first because those dry the fastest and the inner corners always dry the slowest. So you want that to set a lot of it before you start blending. So I blend out my edges first and then I go back in with my foundation sponge and I make sure that that blends perfectly onto my cheek. No lines of demarcation or nothing. Okay. And then, I'm going to get my concealer sponge again and blend away. The reason I go back in with my foundation sponge is because that makes everything easier when it comes to contouring. because when I get to contouring, then I'm going to be using a darker shade, and I don't want it to be such a drastic shift between light and dark because my under eyes are light and then my cheeks are going to be darker. I don't want it to be such a drastic change. That's why I put the foundation in between the two. Okay, so now I'm going in with my under eyes and I'm keeping that color toward the center. I'm keeping in my mind, I don't want to move the product around much. I more so just want to diffuse. I want the product to be spread to the places that they belong. Now, I'm about to do something that y'all probably do not do, but I'm going to pick up one of my blending brushes. Usually, I pick up a dense crease brush, and I'm going to blend out my under eyes using that brush. Now, I do that for two reasons. One reason is because I have lash extensions. I have lash extensions on the top and on the bottom, and I'm not trying to ruin my lashes, you know what I'm saying? Because I pay a lot of money for these lashes. So that's one reason. And the other reason is because it's always difficult to get properly into those nooks and crannies with a sponge. You either have to close your whole eyeball and smash your eye and all of that stuff, and you can't really see, or you just have to be halfway blended. And that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in. Like, if I'm going to blend, I'm going to blend, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't just blend halfway. I don't do anything halfway. So everything that I do is full out. That's why I used a blending brush to get into those nooks and crannies of my face. Okay? Well, thank you. So now, I'm just using my foundation sponge and making sure there are no lines of demarcation. I'm going for flawlessness, okay? That's what I do. I do a flawless finish. Not a lawless finish, but a flawless finish, okay? I follow the rules of engagement of this makeup situation because I want to look good, okay? And that's why I'm using my blending brush on my nose, because the bridge of the nose is a very small place. When you use a sponge, the product spreads everywhere. That's why you want to go in with the brush to make sure that you have a controlled environment. And yeah, I'm just using my foundation sponge again to get rid of those harsh lines. And as you can see, I'm looking like your stepmom per usual, okay? Let it be known. I say let it be known. Okay, right here, you see what I'm doing? That's the excess foundation left over on the back of my hand. We always have excess foundation. This is what you do with it. After you blended everything out, as far as concealer goes, you go in with the rest of that foundation and you place it all on the sides of your face, on the tops of your forehead, everywhere that your contour would actually go, and the edges of where your highlight is. That is the blend, you guys. And you might think, oh my gosh, that's so much makeup, but really, no, baby, it's not. It's not. So now we're going to contour. I'm using two shades. They will be linked below. This is still the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. Let me tell you this. The products you use matter also. I made sure that I used an affordable product that I love, because you guys know I really don't do affordable products because you get what you pay for. But with this Juvia's Place concealer and the foundations, you get more than what you pay for. So what I'm doing here is I'm blending out in a number 3 motion. So I start with my cheeks and I get things where I want them to be. You see, I blend it out. I don't worry too much about accidentally getting my contour a little bit lower than I want to get, because I'm just going to correct that with the concealer anyway. So I take my sponge and I'm going in circular, continuous motions from my forehead to my cheeks to my jawline. And that shapes a number 3. So when you're blending, always think of the number 3. I learned that from either Rennie Vasquez or Kill Pretty. I can't remember which one. But since doing that years ago, listen, it makes everything so much easier and it makes things make sense. So I'm just cleaning up my contour with my concealer sponge here, just making sure that I have the sharp lines where they belong and blending out any harsh lines that don't belong there, okay? I'm making sure I look good. And all of this is in real time. I slowed this clip down so you guys can see my face and see the blend. But when you see my hand moving super fast, as God is my witness, this is as fast as I go, because the faster you're able to blend, the more seamless your look. As you can see, everything is properly blend it. I'm not playing any games, you guys. I'm not. This video is centered around blending, but if you guys like this video, then I can do another one that will be centered around how to actually apply it and apply it properly. Like that number 3 motion that I was just referring to, that would be part of an application centered video. So you guys let me know if you want me to do another video that focuses on where to apply what and how to make things work for your face shape and all of that stuff. So let me know in the comments, like this video if you want that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just blending and I'm blending and I say I'm blending, okay? I'm getting rid of the harsh lines and I'm diffusing the product, not necessarily moving it around. That's not the goal. The goal is not to move it around because you already placed it where it belongs. The goal is to diffuse, okay? Diffuse, blur. That is the goal, to blur. And you see, when I hold my hairline back like that, I do that somehow, some way it helps me. Like I'm pulling my face back so I can really get at my skin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it really makes a difference, but it makes Princess feel good. So Princess is going to continue to do it, okay? So here I am taking my foundation sponge and then going back in with my contouring sponge to make sure everything is blended to perfection. Perfection, I say. Perfection. Just look. I can't make this up. This is real time, baby. This is in real time. I can't make this up. This is what it does. This is what the products do. You know what I'm saying? So now we're just going to set everything. I'm using my Patrick Star setting powder. Shout out to my boo, Dirty Kane. He's the one who got this for me when it first came out and it was sold out and everything. He was my MAC plug. Hey, boo, miss you. So I'm just setting everything right now. And I'm making sure that I set my nose because that's where I get the most oily. And then I'm going to get at my forehead, my chin, my upper lip, all that. And then I'm going to go on with my Huda Beauty cinnamon bun powder. And I'm going to go over, pay attention, I'm finna go over the forehead, the nose, the upper lip, the chin, okay? Even though I put that white powder there, I'm trying to diffuse that powder. Now, my under eyes, I want those to be bright. That's my style. That's what I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying? But the other places, I want to tone them down because my forehead is already big, okay? I already got a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 head. I'm trying to take it down to like a -4, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I get it to a subtle color, all right? So now I'm just dusting everything off, and I didn't show it, but I'm dusting it off with my color face powder. When you're dusting off your powders, you should never just dust them off, you know, just to be dusting. Dust them off with your face powder so that you can be dusting on your color and dusting off the excess, okay? A boom, boom, bam. Now I'm just adding bronzer. I think I'm using my Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami bronzer, maybe a combo with that CoverGirl Ebony Bronze. I don't really remember, but you guys know bronzer brings everything together. Don't sleep on bronzer. It's a necessity. So I'm still going in my number 3 motion. As you can see, I'm doing the threes, and that's what's getting me this flawless look. So I'm hitting the threes, I'm hitting my jawline, I'm hitting my chin. And one thing that I do with bronzer, sometimes I take bronzer in places that it doesn't really belong. Sometimes I sweep under my eyes with my bronzer if I feel like it's too light under there. Sometimes I sweep under my cheeks with my bronzer. Sometimes if I feel like I'm looking ashy, I take whatever's left on my bronzer brush and I just go over my whole face with it. And it warms me up, you know? It gets my undertone to where it needs to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I told you guys that this foundation is the wrong undertone, and that's why it looks too light for me, because it's the wrong undertone. It's in the right shade range, but it's the wrong undertone. So using my bronzer, you see it brought it back. You know what I'm saying? It brought me where I belonged, in the red category. You know what I'm saying? In the deep category. And I'm just, you know, I'm highlighting this melanin because when I walk through the door, I'm just trying to own it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to own it, baby. I'm trying to own it. I'm trying to glow. I'm trying to get a good glow go. That's all I want. I want people to see me from the moon, baby. I'm trying to go to the moon. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just talking. It's 3 a.m. I'm just talking and admiring my highlight and talking to y'all. What are we even talking about? I don't know. I just know I look good. I look good. I honestly look too good to put on a wig. That's why I didn't put one on for this video. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, I'm doing the eyes. I'm using my Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer as my base because I love that concealer. It doesn't crease at all. So it's a perfect eyeshadow base. And I am going to use my Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. I'm using the shade Henna in my crease. This is a super simple look. I'm just using the shade Henna in my crease and, you know, blowing it out so that I have like, you know, some warmth there. And then I'm going to take my Huda Beauty Melted Shadow, and mind you, all of this is listed below. I'm going to take my Huda Beauty Melted Shadow and cut my crease. Super simple look, nothing special at all. It's very simple, nothing, you know, too complicated. It might look complicated to the naked eye, but it's not. I promise you, it ain't. This entire look, as a whole, took me 24 minutes. I actually timed myself. Or was it 26? Either 24 or 26. And it took me that long because I was doing so much dancing. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to know what song I was listening to throughout this whole thing that just had me moving and grooving and doing a thing, go to my Instagram. By now, I should have posted this mini video to my IGTV, so it will be there for you. Go check it out. So I'm just going in with my Huda Beauty Power Bullets lipstick. This one is Promotion Day. It is my favorite red of the moment, aside from Fenty Beauty Hot Blooded. That's like a different kind of red. And then I'm putting El Cinco de Mayo in my center of my lip. I love mixing my reds. Like, I don't do orange reds on their own, but I do them in the center for the poutiness of it all. You know what I'm saying? That's how you give your lips some injections. You know what I'm saying? You give them injections by putting a lighter shade in the center of your lip. That's what I do. Listen, I'm just here to drop some math on you guys, okay? Because I love y'all. I don't want to be the only one out here looking snatched. I want us all to be snatched as a whole together, which is why I'm using this Huda Beauty Boss Spray. I am pressing this onto the oily parts of my face, like my nose, the high points of my cheeks, my forehead, my chin. Listen, this is a really cute way to make your makeup last a lot longer, especially in the summer. I actually got this tip from Huda, and then I spray the rest of my face with it, but I wanted to make sure that I got it on the points of my face that I know get hot and sweaty. So I'm just going to fan that, and then I'm going to take my Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist and breathe some life into my skin, baby. Okay, you see that? You see it. They don't want to admit that they see it, but they see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dropping a fake mole. Well, that one, the top one isn't really fake, but the bottom one was actually a pimple. So I turned it into a mole, which is what I've been doing for about 7 years now. Because it's what I do. It's what I do. I turn my pimples into moles. And now you see. And now you see. You see the glow. You see it. You see it. I look good. Yes, I do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.